Hi, I'm Nathan Oakley and this is video log number 90. Just finished a Skype call with Martin and it was so nice chatting to Martin. He's so endearing, just a wonderful guy, so knowledgeable, and his brain is frazzled like mine after travelling to Hereford Cathedral to see the Mappa Mundi, and it was one of the most exciting things I've ever done. So it was just a fantastic experience. I don't know why, maybe it was the atmosphere of the cathedral or the ancient nature of the building. I don't know, it's one of those, but it was fantastic. And the map itself was what we discussed on the phone when Martin called. He interrupted me doing a few odds and sods, but I'll get back to those after this video log because I just wanted to sort of get out there what we discussed. Unfortunately, Martin was about to run a few errands, so he had to run off and we didn't actually get an opportunity to videotape the call, but I'll sort of boil down exactly what we talked about and get some of the ideas out there, and we'll do a future hangout, Martin and I, and reflect on our thoughts once we've had a few days to actually digest what we took in while we were there. So yeah, Martin was talking to me about his chats and discussions that he'd had on a few hangouts. I'll do this negative bit now. I felt a bit disappointed. I know he went on the Morgile show and went on Jeff's show, and certainly on Jeff's show, Jeff was more concerned with finding out whether or not I'm a knife-wielding maniac as opposed to sort of finding out about this really ancient map. But there we go, that's just one of those things. When you've got information like this, it's a bit overwhelming. So when we chatted, Martin and I, we talked about first the legitimacy of the map. Obviously there's so much propaganda. Anybody who's tuned into Mechanics of the Fourth Wall will have heard me discussing this, certainly with Antonio Subratz. There's a lot of propaganda, and there's no reason to believe that the people back then weren't as corrupt as we are now. I would assume they were exactly the same. People are people. So when Martin talks about the demons on there, we see that as propaganda, but there's no reason to believe that lots of other things in the map aren't fake or skewed or distorted. And talking of distortions, I had to explain to Martin that it occurred to me that the shape, certainly when it was Britain, something I could relate to, was nothing like what we see on our modern day maps. And I kind of asked him, how do you know what the shape, what the outline is? And Martin's answer was radar. You know, when you do a 3-mile scan, it looks pretty much like you've got on your maps, pretty much being as close as you can see on that small a scale of landscape. Now, considering that Britain's maybe, if you measure it on a John O'Groats to Land's End, it's probably 1,000 miles, but maybe 500 or 600 miles top to bottom and maybe 300 miles across. It's not exactly a vast expanse of land. So I looked for photos, Matt Powerland saying we have no photos of Earth. Well, as far as I could see at a cursory glance, I can't find any photographs of Britain, which is, like I say, a small island. So you look and you find high altitude shots of lots of cloud cover and lots of atmosphere and very little distinguishable below. You get satellite imagery, which just looks like a layered CGI image. It just looks like nothing real. And then you have photographs from slightly lower altitude where there's no cloud cover, and you've got just a vast expanse of land, and again, nothing discernible. So I posed the question to Martin, how do we actually know what Great Britain looks like? It looks like 3 sausages on the Mappa Mundi and has a very distinct shape on every other map. Now, according to Martin, going back sort of to maybe the 17th century, he's got depictions of Britain that look virtually identical to what we have on a modern day map, and that's backed up, as he said, by the radar scans. But certainly there's, from my point of view, I can't see just a photograph of Britain from a very high altitude with it being as depicted on the weather forecast. I just can't seem to find that. Don't get me wrong, I've not spent a massive amount of time looking at this, and my suggestion to Martin was that he does the same. But yeah, I highly encourage everybody looks at our little escapade at the Mappa Mundi, the 4 of us wandering around the cathedral and eventually finding and discovering the map, which was massive. So yeah, check out those videos. I'll put a link to at least a couple of those videos. I've also done a playlist, so if you just type in something like Flat Earth map Mappa Mundi, Mappamundi. That will take you to hopefully that playlist with about 12 videos for you to enjoy. I hope it gets talked about a lot. Propaganda aside, it's a map that depicts the flat Earth, which I'm hoping everyone will get excited about. Anyway, I've been Nathan Oakley. I'll see you in my next video. I'll get back to my errands.